In this video, we'll be taking a look at 2 college football games happening on September 14, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 2 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Navy versus Memphis. The American Athletic Conference kicks off league play this week when the Navy midshipmen travel to take on the Memphis Tigers. Navy defeated Wagner last week 24-0, but failed to cover as they were favored by 43.5 points against the football championship subdivision school. Memphis traveled into Arkansas State and destroyed the Red Wolves 37-3 while covering as 21-point road favorites. Memphis won last year's battle between these 2 teams, going to Navy's home field and taking home a 37-13 win. The Navy midshipmen are famous for using their triple option running attack. Head coach Brian Newberry took over the program this season. He is still using the triple option, but wants to see more pass plays mixed in. He hired Grant Chestnut from Kennesaw State as offensive coordinator and tasked him with adding more vertical passes to the run game. Against Wagner, quarterback Ty Lavatai threw for 161 yards and had a 45-yard passing play to running back Anton Hall Jr. The passing game is still a work in progress. Navy is averaging only 103 passing yards per game, which is only better than 3 other teams in all of college football. The stats may not tell the whole story, as the midshipmen have played 2 very different games. They got blown out by Notre Dame, then defeated in football championship subdivision school. Daba Fofana is the top back in the system. He has 90 yards rushing through 2 games, while Lavatai is right behind him at 88 yards. No receiver has topped 50 yards on the season yet. They will need to be more dynamic offensively to compete in the American Athletic Conference. Navy's kicker, Evan Warren, is having a tough start to the season, only connecting on 2 of his 5 field goal attempts. The defense needs to put more pressure on the quarterback. Through 2 games, the midshipmen only have 1 sack. Senior linebacker Will Harbor is leading the team in tackles with 13 on the year. The athletic director did not put together a challenging first 2 weeks for the Memphis Tigers. They played Bethune Cookman and football championship subdivision school in their opener, then went to Arkansas State and dominated the Red Wolves in week 2. Memphis won the games by a combined 76 points. The Tigers will face tougher tests soon. After Navy, they face Missouri and Boys State in non-conference games. The competition has not been strong, but Memphis has still put up impressive numbers in their first 2 weeks. The team is averaging 46.5 points and 470 yards per game. Junior quarterback Seth Hennigan completed 73.8% of his passes for 573 yards with 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. The Tigers have been using tandem of speed backs out of the backfield. Senior Blake Watson has rushed for 126 yards and 3 touchdowns, while sophomore Sutton Smith has added 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hennigan is not typically a running threat, but did score from the 7-yard line last week. The Tigers' top receiver so far is senior Toski Dub with 124 yards, including a 52-yard touchdown against Arkansas State. The Tigers are only allowing 8.5 points per game and are giving up just 58 rushing yards per game. Something will have to give as Navy's triple option is averaging 137.5 rush yards per game. Linebacker Chandler Martin will have a busy day trying to stop Navy. He leads Memphis in tackles with 11. Memphis has 6 players with at least 1 sack coming into this game. We have American Athletic Conference action on Thursday night when the Navy midshipmen travel to Western Tennessee to face the Memphis Tigers. The American is going to play a lot of games on Thursdays, and this is a welcome schedule for football bettors. The line opened with Memphis favored by 14.5, a number intended to scare off bettors. The Tigers came out of the gate very well versus an overmatched Bethune Cookman team. Memphis ended up with 551 yards of total offense in that one with 27 first downs and 35, 12 in time of possession. Not everything was perfect, though. The Tigers had 3 turnovers and went just 4 of 1-2 on third down tries. In the Arkansas State game, Memphis was great on defense, allowing just 230 total yards, 3.2 yards per play, and 18 first downs. The third down efficiency was pretty lackluster, but the +4 turnover differential was nice. The Memphis attack is potent and well-balanced. They have a veteran quarterback in Seth Hennigan, who makes good decisions, takes care of the ball, and is efficient. He has some serious receiving threats to throw to also. Memphis has been untested so far, scoring resounding victories over Bethune, Cookman, and Arkansas State, but they are a quality team that can contend in the American Athletic Conference this season. And they are going to score a ton of points this season. Navy is a team that counts on a veteran defense. Navy is still running the triple option, although they are mixing in a bit more passing this season. Their offense struggled to do anything at all in the opener against Notre Dame, and probably still wasn't as dominant as it needed to be in Week 2 against Wagner. I worry a little bit about the Navy offense. It has yet to be proven that Navy's new offense under head coach Brian Newberry and offensive coordinator Grant Chestnut will be successful. The midshipmen only scored 3 points against Notre Dame and should have scored more against Wagner. Navy was favored by 43.5 points against Wagner, but only managed to put up 24 against the football championship subdivision school. Memphis has an athletic defense with linebackers and edge rushers who can keep up with the triple option attack. Navy's triple option is missing a powerful fullback, which is needed to gain chunk yards up the middle. Without that threat, Memphis will protect the edges and keep the backs from hitting big plays on the perimeter. Memphis quarterback Hennigan has been connecting on 73.8% of his passes and will find openings against Navy's defense. The Tigers shouldn't have a ton of trouble in this third matchup if they play well. I think this is a bad matchup for Navy. Their offense is not quite clicking yet, and I don't know that their defense will slow a potent Memphis attack enough to keep this game close. Memphis is going to get another big game from Seth Hennigan under center. Navy gave up 42 points in the first game, and Memphis is going to score at least that here. Memphis wins big for the third week in a row, so the Memphis Tigers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Memphis would have to score 40+ to go over this total. Navy has struggled to score. They only scored 3 points against the other football bowl subdivision school they face, and only put up 24 against an football championship subdivision school. Memphis put up 56 this season when they played in football championship subdivision school, which can be used as a metric to show you how much this Navy offense is struggling. The Memphis defense is only giving up 160.5 yards per game, and will be able to keep the triple option in check. Navy gave up 42 to Notre Dame, but Memphis does not have the firepower that Sam Hartman and the Irish have in South Bend. Memphis will be held under 40, and Navy will barely score, leading to a low-scoring affair. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Miami versus Bethune-Cookman. The Bethune-Cookman Wildcats and Miami Hurricanes meet Thursday in Week 3 college football action at Hard Rock Stadium. The Bethune-Cookman Wildcats look for a massive upset to get a game above a .500 record. Bethune-Cookman has won 2 road games since the 2020 college football season. Luke Sprague is completing 74.3% of his passes for 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Davino Ellington and Tink Boyd have combined for 145 receiving yards on 11 catches touchdown, while Dakari Allen Johnson has 8 receptions. The Bethune-Cookman Wildcats ground game is averaging 88.5 yards per contest, and Juvensley Basil leads the way with 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, Bethune-Cookman is allowing 31 points and 412 yards per game. Dearest Thomas leads the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats with 17 tackles. Jalen Christian has 1 sack, and Tyrone Franklin Jr. has 1 interception. The Miami Hurricanes look to build on their big upset win last week against the ranked Texas Aggies. Miami looks for its 5th 3-0 start since the 2015 college football season. Tyler Van Dyke is completing 73.1% of his passes for 575 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Xavier Restrepo and Colby Young have combined for 348 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns, while Jacoby George has 11 receptions. The Miami Hurricanes ground game is averaging 163.5 yards per contest, contest, and Henry Parrish Jr. leads the way with 140 yards and 1 touchdown. Defensively, Miami is allowing 18 points and 324 yards per game. James Williams leads the Miami Hurricanes with 12 tackles. Jafari Harvey has 1 sack and Cameron Kinchins has 1 interception. The Miami Hurricanes are obviously capable of blowing the doors off here, but 53 points is a lot. This is the biggest favorite Miami has been since a 2018 game against Savannah State. It's a short week for the Hurricanes, and they're fresh off a massive win over the Texas Aggies. This is probably a win-and-get-out situation as they look forward to a road game against Temple. This is also a pride spot for Bethune Cookman as there are 61 players on this roster from Florida. A lot of these guys know each other, grew up together, and so on. They shouldn't just roll over. Give me the boatload of points. So the Bethune Cookman Wildcats to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Wildcats have displayed their offensive capabilities through key performances from Juvensley Basil and Davino Ellington. The team's running back accumulated 10 attempts for 78 yards at an average of 7.8 yards per carry while scoring 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, wide receiver Davino Ellington collected 9 receptions totaling 77 yards, with his longest being a 27-yarder. Overall, their performances have been inconsistent, especially against Miami and away games. Luke Sprague has completed 26 of 35 passing attempts for the Wildcats, amassing 244 passing yards with a completion percentage of 74.3%. While his 7 yards per attempt indicate a conservative passing game, his 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions show effective decision-making. Sprague has been sacked twice, losing 12 yards, and holds a passer rating of 151.7. The Hurricanes have proven themselves formidable this season. Running back Henry Parrish Jr. has amassed 140 yards on 19 attempts at an average of 7.4 yards per carry and scored 1 touchdown. Wide receiver Xavier Restrepo also impressed, tallying 11 receptions for 194 yards at 17.6 yards per catch. Despite these impressive statistics, covering the spread has proven challenging at home for the Hurricanes. Tyler Van Dyke, on the other hand, has been prolific for the Hurricanes. He has completed 38 of 52 passing attempts, totaling 575 passing yards. His completion percentage sits at a similar 73.1%. But with an average of 11.1 yards per pass, he takes more downfield risks. He has thrown 6 touchdowns and only 1 interception, proving both productive and efficient. Van has been sacked twice and holds an exceptional passer rating of 200.2. The total has gone over in 5 of Bethune Cookman's last 5 games, hinting at their defensive vulnerabilities. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.